Hello and welcome to Kind's Point. This is Dresden's Tale, episode 46, chapter 44 of volume 2. This is the show where we follow Dresden Fane, a dwarf, a warrior, haunted by the past, weary of the future, and annoyed with the present. Our story exists in the violence of the Keld culture, a kingdom of bravado and intolerance, where you know you're with friends because you all hate the same people. I'm your guide in this righteous land, Lewis Nichols. The later you've picked up watching Dresden's Tale, the better. Those early episodes were a little rough. No matter what you think of Season 2, remember that Season 1 was worse. Might even be re-recorded someday. But what about Season 3? Well, I can at least promise we won't lose any ground. Hopefully, I will continue to improve in my storytelling, but don't get excited at the prospect. Now, for you folks who are new, let's knock out a little historical context. What do you need to know about Dresden's world to enjoy the story? Not much, really. He's a guy trying to get somewhere. Pretty basic. How's he going to get there? A magical gate connecting the plain of Moldav to the plain of Vul. What's the war about? Survival. The gods have proclaimed there can only be one. The planar system that is Dresden's home is occupied by 3 major people groups, and 2 of those are doomed to failure. You've got to fight for your right to exist around this neck of the woods. How big is this story? Really big. Don't expect any quick resolutions. If I mentally convert my total body of work into seasons of Dresden's Tale, I've got material to last for years, and I still feel like we're just beginning. It's early in an age, but tech levels are pretty good. Infrastructure is not. The knowledge is there, but it takes time to grow into a high middle age, high magic culture, and the whole population of the Keld peoples is only a few 100,000. There's magic, but few mages, and the same goes for everything else. No high-level priests, few highly skilled sages or engineers. We're at the beginning, and this is a show to watch Dresden's culture in all of its terrible grandeur rise. Now let's see what our dwarf is up to. Probably still digging and complaining. It is the 17th day of Ebba, 2052 years after the fall. Swoosh! Oh boy, always with the noisy neighbor. Karen stuck her shovel in the dirt and leaned on it. What about your noisy neighbor, Fanghorn? I'm glad you asked. He was always around, is all I'm saying. Now you know, I'm the big dinger of the arena, won every youth match I ever entered. I'd go full time if it wasn't for throwing my arm out in the championship. Ralph squawked. How would you go full time exactly? Oh boy, you giving me lip, rosy reptile? I'm telling a story. I tell you what, I gave that neighbor a head fake and caught him with a left. I gave him another and another. I gave him so many lefts by the time I was done he was begging for a right. Karen, Ralph, and the rest were laughing and clapping at the audacious storyteller. Dresden let a grin escape, but he knew it was just a matter of time before... Get back to work, you layabouts. Fanghorn, shut the hells up and quit bothering the workers. Told you so. Dresden renewed his assault on a formation of clay and stone. This is going to take all summer. Ralph and Orrin helped him clear the pile. Sometimes it felt like they made good progress, filling buckets and carts as quickly as they came. He was impressed with the technology and organization involved. Most of the tools were good steel, durable, and hard to break. The buckets and ropes weren't shoddy types like his clan pillage from the Odessan conquest, but instead the work of real craftsmen. The buckets were dumped into wagon-sized vats and lifted up the side by a pulley system. Hundreds of workers toiled at the labor under the strict supervision of Campbell managers. They can't keep us here that long, Orrin hoped. I heard a guy say we only have to make another 10 feet before they flood this whole section. Not to be as cynical as our leader here, but even 10 feet will take weeks, Ralph groaned. Donald snorted. The guy said a week. Probably lied about that, too. I'm not your leader, Dresden muttered too late. No one heard him anyways. 36 miles. Why 36? Orrin sat on a rock formation. It wouldn't matter anyway. The gate's clogged. The roads are overloaded. Nothing is moving on the river. There's probably 30,000 warriors converging right here. We're all fucked. The road's clogged? Dresden asked, but Orrin didn't hear. He was watching Karen back the comedian into a muddy wall, driving her hand down his pants. Stoner slut. Up yours, Stubby. I'm kicking your ass right after I fuck your friend. Dresden rubbed his face. I've got to get us out of here. Orrin, what did you say about the road? What are you thinking, boss? Donald asked. Just an idea. Orrin! The human grunted. It's nothing. I heard one of the managers complaining he needed to go north, but couldn't be away for a week to... Where are you going? Donald, what the... I thought we were digging. Stay there. I'll be back. Dresden headed for the ladders. Are you sure this is a good idea? Donald tagged along beside him. What if they keep you? Keep me? You worry too much. I'm offering a one-time bargain. If they take it, great. If not, we're leaving anyways. At least I am. You all can do what you want. Donald had no chance of following him up the ladders, and Dresden knew it. He admitted he'd taken on a certain amount of responsibility for the crew who followed him. Maybe he even liked some of them, but this he needed to do alone. It didn't occur to him he was filthy or that he smelled bad. Except for a few dips in the river or the occasional rain shower, he hadn't bathed since Leith died. It really hadn't even crossed his mind, but she wouldn't have put up with him getting stranded, and neither would he. I'm here to make a deal. He got past the door guard and burst into the site's command post. Get him out of here. He recognized a few of the Campbells there, but didn't know any of their names. Dresden hunkered into a fighting stance, ready to be rushed. There's a rumor one of you needs a pocket space to Camberg. A raised hand stilled the three guards preparing to deal with the trespasser, just like the Stone Clan to train a dwarf in Ziblish. What's that supposed to mean? Dresden took a step forward. A brown-skinned human rose. Assuming you can actually do what you claim, I'd still be careful about overplaying your hand. It is you doing the magic? That's right, I am, and I'm guessing whoever planned this city is a duo Daenerys. I don't know where your warlocks are, but it was planned with skiffing in mind. And why do you think that? One of the guards scoffed. 36 miles to Camberg. I bet there's a plinth or something pointed in the exact direction at the exact mile marker. The human in charge turned back to his fellows. I suppose this is one traveling without papers? A female Tagara looked at the dwarf. What's your name? Dresden Fane, House of Nanok, High Priest of Lorne. Down south he may be, but he has no authority here, and you have no proof you're part of his house anyway. Seems rather suspect, the human stated. The Tagara let out a purring sigh. No books, no letters, nothing. Coincidentally, none of your friends are particularly well documented either. We've confirmed some of them are more or less associated with the EA militia of Biona, but not acting on orders. We are warriors of the Stone Clan, come to fight the heretics. The Campbells can see to affairs on Vool, another human groaned. I say we put him on a boat for home. The first human waved off his fellow. Except we might actually be able to help each other out. He turned back to Dresden. Another fighting group on Camberg doesn't matter to me one way or the other. I can't get you passage onto Vool, and I'm certain conditions there will be worse than here. You may have trouble with accommodations, possibly even food. However, I do need to go myself. Now I wonder, if you can do this, why haven't you done it already? Dresden didn't really feel like answering, but at least he had the man considering it. 2 reasons, really. I'd rather go with a letter from your office. It might not be proper papers, but I believe we'll get through quicker with it than without. The other is risk. Now, I've figured out the 36-mile thing, so I'm not worried about landing on a cliffside. But what? It's the gate at Camberg. I pocket space around Parncilly all the time, so it's not like I'm scared, but some people say it's dangerous. The man looked at him for a moment, considering the warlock's words. Suddenly he was laughing. We're warriors. Life is a stagnation without risk. So we have a deal? One trip there and back, and I leave with my companions in the morning with a letter and the equipment we were offered. Equipment? New leathers, packs, rope, tents. We were promised basic equipment in exchange for digging your canal, Dresden insisted. The Tagara laughed. You were not. Leather, boots, and jackets, that's it, the human countered. Humph, good enough, Dresden grunted. I'm ready to leave right now. Swoosh. Whoo, dwarf is getting lippy. I like it. As soon as he figured out 36 meant exactly 36, he was set. Now why would this be? Nah, I'll let you figure that out for another day. The important thing is that we are on the move. Dresden is one step closer to escaping his past. I'm sure it'll work out just fine. Fine indeed. And best of all, the gang is still together. I wonder if Karen's new boy toy is coming. For that matter, I wonder if Dresden is ever going to take another bath. Dwarves can be gross, but I hear they're a pretty good time if you can get one cleaned up. Thanks for stopping by, fellow adventurers. You didn't have to listen, but you did, and I appreciate it. Do the stuff. Like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends. I'm Lewis Nichols, and I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful day.